You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
Down in 5 for the quarterback, Joe Flacco. Super Bowl MVP with Baltimore. Brooks was the back. Flacco will go underneath. Oh, it's picked off. That's a pick six. Kiss him goodbye. Marcus Jones. Henry, the tight end, led him in receptions a year ago. Here we go. 1st and 10, escaping traffic. Wide open, Henry. That's a Patriot touchdown.
Aubrey up, and he's got it! The Cowboys win, and maybe Nealon looking down from above.
Well, how about that? Oh, my goodness. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pete Sheppard Show here on a maniacal, wacky Monday here on the Coastal Sports Digital Network. Angel is still puking from his Eagles loss yesterday. Plus, he's sick. We'll hear from him, though, in a couple of minutes. Welcome to the show. Thanks for checking us out across the Coastal Sports Digital Network. My Patriots have won 9 in a row, but a very costly victory in more ways than one, as their whole left side of the offensive line got banged up yesterday. They play next Monday. We'll get into that. What an unbelievable day in the NFL, and an unbelievable day, an unbelievable weekend in college football as well. We're going to get to it all, I promise you. There are so many. I mean, every crappy team on the whole yesterday, except for the Raiders, played fairly well. Great games in the NFL yesterday. Thanks for checking us out on the Pete Sheppard Show across the Coastal Sports Digital Network and the video platform. Checking me out on Twitter, on X at PShep326, on YouTube, Kick, Rumble, CSDN Florida, LinkedIn, Instagram, on the awesome Odyssey app, and of course SR1029 The Game and SR1029thegame.com, that app. Call or text the show, 727-858-6650. Great show coming up for you today. Jay Flanley up at Beeves World in Ann Arbor, from Beeves World in Ann Arbor, going to join me at 8:05 for his weekly Monday visit. And then Jacob Davis, newbie to the show, but cool guy. Chatted with him, and he covers Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Arkansas for a plethora of networks, and including SI.com, I believe. So Jacob's going to join us at 8:30, and we are going to, delve deeper into the Lane Kiffin situation, which exploded after the show on Friday with these unbelievable offers coming in. LSU, they may be the front runner right now, but there are reports out there that Florida, the Gators, and Mississippi are still in the hunt for Kiffin services. We'll get into all of that a little bit later on. But I do want to welcome in this morning Angel Martinez, who's a bit under the weather, going to hang for it as long as he can. And I'm just going to say my piece about the Philadelphia Eagles, and then I'm going to let Angel vent. We'll get into the Patriots. Tampa Bay lost Baker Mayfield last night. They really, really got banged up. They really did. Patriots now the number 1 seed, thanks to Kansas City beating Indianapolis yesterday. And the Patriots have a 2.5-game lead on the Buffalo Bills, who may never recover after that. But not to mention, your 76ers lost to a red-hot Miami Heat team last night as well. The Flyers didn't play, so that was good. I'm going to say this about the Eagles. I don't get it. I don't understand. What's Petullo's first name? Kevin?
Yep.
Okay. Yes. He's got to go. I'm going to have you, Angel, comment in a second here. You cannot have arguably the best running back in the game, with all due respect to Derrick Henry. Okay, 1 and 1A. Okay, can we agree on that? How the hell can you only attempt to run the ball 9 times in the second half? You're up 21-0, and you only attempt to run the ball 9 times when you have arguably one of the best running backs, first or second, in the game. Okay, Taylor's having a great year. You know what I'm talking about. I don't get it. I don't understand Nick Sirianni's explanation after the game. I'm angry, and I don't hate Philadelphia fans like a lot of New Englanders might, or anything like. I don't. I appreciate the passion, Northeast passion. I get all of that. What I am offended by is shitty, and it doesn't matter what level of football, is shitty ass coaching. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I thought the Eagles could overcome and adjust and adapt. AJ Brown has a good game. He gets his 110 yards and a touchdown. But I don't know how the hell Nick Sirianni can go on with Patullo as an offensive coordinator, because I'm telling you, this, as good as their defense is, and they're the defending Super Bowl champs and everything else, they're in trouble. If they continue along this path, I don't understand the mentality, and they've gotten away with it so far because their defense has been so good. I don't put this on Jalen Hurts. He's got to have a little response, but no, 95% of this is on Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator. What the hell are you doing? What are you, crazy? You're up 21-0 on the road in Dallas, where you normally struggle against a Dak Prescott who's 21-2, now 22-2, and becomes the all-time leader for the Cowboys passing. And you can't run the ball? What the hell is going on over there? It is unbelievable. What do you have, 22 yards on 10 carries? The fuck? Are you serious? What the hell is happening with coaching in Philadelphia? Now, I give Dallas all the credit in the world. The needle obviously is still way, they had a lot of heart and soul. But the Eagles gave that away. Even after Numbnut fielded the ball at the 1 yard line, Angel, with about under 6 minutes to go, and fumbled the ball. The Cowboys the Eagles defense played excellent. Stopped the Cowboys. They couldn't get in.
Yep.
Goal. Couldn't get in. 4 tries. Or in the red zone 4 times. Couldn't get in. So the Eagles get the ball back, and they screw up again. And the play calling is just atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Now, Dak Prescott made some unbelievable throws. Pickens and Cooper also made some ridiculous catches that I thought were going to be intercepted by the Eagles. But, to each, just amazing that they just jumped a couple of Eagle defenders, because a couple of those plays were well covered by Philadelphia. It is what it is. But the Eagles were giving opportunity after opportunity late in that game, which it never should have come down to close out the Cowboys. And they just absolutely, you talk about shooting yourself in the foot. It is unbelievable to me, the play calling that has gone on this year. And A.J. Brown, maybe it's not all about him. Maybe he's right. If I'm Saquon Barkley, I throw my helmet down. I just pack my bags and go. He has got you. If A.J. Brown is living, how do you think Saquon Barkley feels? What are we doing in Philadelphia? What is going on? Again, we'll get to my Patriots in a little bit, and the rest of the NFL. Shadur Sanders, despite being 11 of 20 for some reason and beating the Raiders with a full week of practice, I'm happy for him. But let's everybody just calm the bleep down. Let's calm down. You beat the worst team. They just fired Brian Kelly as well, their offensive coordinator. Good job, right after the game. He was gone. But Angel Martinez, the floor is yours. I don't get it. You gotta either have it's a couple, 2 other things. Maybe we'll have the floor. All I can hear is Mickey from Rocky in the background. Instead of saying Rocky, going, "You can't win, Nick. You can't win." And it's not so much Nick; it's Patullo. You can't win like that. And then somebody said this morning, and I was thinking the same thing, but I'm still going to take credit for it because I believe I came up with it first. We always talk about the baby Jesus, and he's never in the losing locker room, blah blah blah. But the Eagles, speaking of the baby Jesus, they need CTJM, come to Jesus moment. They need it. They got to figure it out, because this has you can feel collapse happening. It has nothing to do with the defense for the most part. And I don't think it has a whole hell of a lot to do with the quarterback. This is about coaching and your play calling. And I know the offensive line isn't as good as last year, but you cannot have the type of numbers that the Eagles had yesterday in that game. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous when you see some of the numbers. You look at the box score and you see, all right, A.J. Brown, 110 yards on 8 catches and a touchdown. Rushing the ball, Saquon Barkley yesterday was No, wasn't even the leading rusher. Jalen Hurts was with 33 yards on 7 carries. How the hell can Saquon Barkley only have 22 yards on 10 carries in that game? And they only ran the ball, I believe, 9 times in the second half. 9 times. I don't get it. I just don't get it. To me, it's very obvious. And I'm not saying pound and ground every single time for the Eagles or any of that stuff, but God almighty, you got to come up with something a lot more imaginative than what they're showing, because you're up 21-0 on the road in a hostile environment in Dallas against your rival, and you lay an egg in the second half. You don't score for 40 minutes. The last 40 minutes of the game, they did not score. Angel, sick as you are, the floor is yours. Have at it.
Well, good morning, Peter. This is JC. You just mentioned me earlier on, and I just want to say we don't visit losing locker rooms.
Okay, it's either Jabba the Hutt or Ed Ogeron. I'm not sure.
One of the two. All I know is that, listen, that was just the most.
How do you do that? Can I do that?
You sure can.
How do I do that?
Well, I'm not going to. I'll show you exactly how to do it.
I'm not going to interrupt you. Go ahead, vent.
But this just, I mentioned this before, right? And people think like every time when you hear people say, oh, this person's got to go. By the way, Todd Bowles got to go too from the Buccaneers. He's another one that's on the list. But when it comes to Philly, Kevin Patullo has to go. I mentioned this, last week, the week before? He's got to go. It's the same playbook. And I mentioned it even last week. And I gave the benefit of the doubt, said the Eagles were going to win. I even mentioned 31-28, the Eagles would win on a late field goal. No, Dallas turns around, makes it 21-all, and then 21 extra points. Oh, and what did they do? They wait on a late game field goal. 24-21. Kevin Patullo only has 5. Just 5. That's it. He started going, he went with playbook 1. He was like, wow, this actually works. Let's go to 5. He was, oh, look, we're going. At the half, he was right in between 3 and 4. Basically giving us all the finger because he told us all gas, no brakes first half. Second half, all brakes, no gas. Same shit from Kevin Patullo. Nothing changes. And then Jeffrey Lurie, who never usually likes to step in, I know he's got to step in this week. He has to. You're playing the Bears on Friday, which is not even a guaranteed win the way the Bears have been playing as of late. These are not the Bears of old. So we're going to keep doing the same old regurgitated shit over and over again and look like Super Bowl champions in the first half. And in the second half, everybody's like, oh, is the plane ready? Can we board it? Where's Jesus? Is Jesus in our locker room? No, he went to Dallas. Got it. It's the same fuckosphere that comes out of Philly every fucking week, and it's beyond ridiculous. And I get tired of it because we're never going to see any difference. I understand Jalen tried to step up yesterday. He also, I don't know, let me think. I got the ball. Everybody's coming. What do I do? Whoops. Right to the ground. Don't throw it away. No, let me just keep it and minus 17 yards. It was just, I can't, this team. Matter of fact, how bad it is, I have my check written to the New York Jets fan base. I'm going to join the Jets because at least they know they suck.
No, you're not. No. I draw the line there. No.
It's ungodly ridiculous what his damn team continues to do. Same shit. They're not going. By the way, the 2 teams that are going to the Super Bowl, and they proved it yesterday, Kansas City Chiefs only because they won, and we already know that script's going to be written for the NFL, and the LA Rams. So enjoy it out there in San Fran. LA, Kansas City.
Kansas City is not going to the Super Bowl. They're not. Right now, they're not even in the playoffs. They're hanging around. Okay, they're not even in the playoff right now. And I thought the Colts would win the game outright yesterday. They covered, but they didn't win. They had a chance to win. I give Kansas City credit. That's the first one-score game, by the way. The Chiefs have won this year, Angel. They had lost. Last year they'd won 12. This is the first time this year they've won a one-score game. So, but there's still a lot of football left. Not that the Chiefs can't make the playoffs; they can. But look at the Ravens. Pittsburgh is out of the playoffs right now, as predicted by me 3 weeks ago. The Ravens would overtake them in the division. They have. The Ravens would be the 4 seed right now. Patriots would be 1, Denver 2, or Indy 2, Denver 3, and the Ravens 4. But all the shitty teams played decent yesterday. Decent, except for there weren't a lot of blowouts. I don't know about Todd Bowles. I kind of get what you're saying. That was a tough game yesterday. They lost Baker in the first half with a shoulder injury, and he's going to be out. I think he's going to be out for a while. My Patriots, despite being down 10-0, I didn't panic at all. I was like, you know what? It was such a weird game. You probably didn't see it, Angel, but at that field, I forget the name of it. Synergy Field, what the hell? I forget the name where they play.
I think it is.
Whatever it is. early on in the game, just watching the game, I was with a few friends. We couldn't see the ball. Like, it was weird. The shadows, but there was a shadow, and then there was a big strip of sunshine, Angel. And both quarterbacks struggled. Now, I know Drake May, early had his arm was sort of hit. The ball floated on him. When they intercepted that, I couldn't see it. When Flacco threw his pick six, not too long after, there's no way. He didn't see Jones either. If you were throwing to that strip of sun, it was brutal yesterday at that time of day in Cincinnati. But after that, Patriots settled down and pretty much kicked ass, except on the offensive line, where they lost Jared Wilson on the first play, their starting left guard. Then they lost their outstanding left tackle, Will Campbell, the rookie, with a knee injury in the third quarter. Did not look good. Did not look good. Angelo, good morning. How are you? Looking good, Pete. Thanks, Angelo. Appreciate you. Back at you. So with that being said, so I don't know. You talked about Mr. Laurie, coming in. Nick Sirianni has got to figure that. I'm going to want you to hear Nick Sirianni after the game, Angel.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, I want the audience to hear it, and then I want your reaction. Oh, let's do some of the highlights first. Let me do some of the highlights. Let me get some reaction from Nick Sirianni and then from Brian Schottenheimer as well. Started off good for the Eagles.
Hurts throwing end zone. A.J. Brown, touchdown, Eagles.
Seven 0 first quarter. A lot of Eagles fans in Dallas. We know the Eagles fans travel well, and it continued.
Hurts, design run, up the middle he goes. Jalen Hurts still going. He's in. Touchdown.
14-0. 14-0. Let's head to the second quarter. Touch push time.
Hurts, shove forward. He's in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
$21-0. The route is on. Right? Wrong.
Most on the year. First and goal, Dallas. Prescott rolling. Looking. Throwing. Caught. Touchdown. Brevin.
To pick it 21-7 now. Philadelphia still with the lead, but here comes Dallas once again. Where is it? Here we go.
Most on the year. First and goal, Dallas. Prescott rolling. Looking. Throwing. Caught. Touchdown. Brevin.
That was the same cut. That was supposed to be, I guess they doubled up on the cut. Anyways, 21-14. And the Eagles keep saying they don't want to run the ball, not going to run the ball, not going to run the ball. And here come the Cowboys once again to tie it in the fourth.
Prescott thinking about running. Is he going to get there? Gets a block. Prescott flies in. Touchdown.
Fly, Dak, fly. Kidder joint. So it's 21-21, right? The Eagles had blunders offensively, defensively, special teams-wise, but still they had every opportunity to win this game right up until they didn't.
Aubrey up, and he's got it! The Cowboys win, and maybe Nealon looking down from above.
After the game, let's start Brian Schottenheimer, Dak Prescott becoming the Cowboys' leading passer.
He's one of a kind, man. He really is. Just his leadership, his poise, the way he plays the game, the way he always believes. You know, you talk about when some of your best players are the guys that believe the most, and they know that they're going to find a way and help raise the other guys to raise the standard. And we've got a lot of guys like that now. But I know he won't say it, but that's a pretty cool record that he broke, and to do it on a game like this where we beat a really good football team the way we did, I'm sure makes it even sweeter.
Nick Sirianni, you got some splaining to do, Lucy.
It's about being able to fix the things, so the things that we made mistakes on tonight, coaching and playing, doesn't repeat itself. So it's finding that time to be able to do that, and getting up and going back to work, even though you got a bad taste in your mouth. And we're going to have a plane ride home. So it's just about fixing the issues, in a short week while you're also trying to prepare for the next team. And so we got to do a good job of that. Get up. Just got to get up, and we got a short week. We didn't do things quite well enough tonight. Give them credit, and then get up and get back to work. Got to make sure that we're mastering the things that require new talent. And again, I got to be better with my message to them. Again, anytime it's a whole full team thing like that, again, it's hard to say, hey, it's this or it's that. But anytime it's the full team that we're making, because we made them on special teams, we made them as an offense. I don't think we had any pre-snap stuff on defense, but I'm going to put that on me.
Thoughts, Angel? He kept saying what you've been saying about repeating the same mistakes. He said that initially in his statement. That's what it. But that's on your offensive coordinator. You're the head coach. Overrule him. Overrule him.
That's what you need to do. But he won't. I don't know what is. Listen, I applaud Nick for the stuff that he does at times. There's other times too where you have to step up as a head coach and say, "Listen, OC, sorry, I gotta let you go." Either make the assistant now at this point calling, or you call it. You got to figure out something, because at this point, Vic Fangio can only do so much on defense. And yeah, defense made mistakes too yesterday. I know it's banged up. Some guys are, they were asked to come up from the practice squad. All of that stuff comes into play. So I get it. I understand it. How he did the best he possibly could before the trade deadline to get this team back to Super Bowl status. But you, as a head coach, got to figure out Kevin's the problem. But it's like looking in the mirror and just saying, is that me in a reflection? No, it's not, dumbass, because you're looking through the mirror thinking that you're going to be able to fix all these problems. And you're not. Kevin is your issue. And I don't understand why. It's Monday morning. It should be Black Monday. You should go in there and say, listen, we're back. We're back in Philly. Here we are. Okay, Kevin, can I see you? You're out. Thanks. Appreciate it. And then figure out what you're going to do for next season. Because at this point, you keep Kevin in there with about 5 weeks to go left in this season. You can forget about even taking that number 1 seed and going anywhere with it, because whoever comes to Philly is going to landslide right through you. So I'm just, the whole thing, the experiment, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, maybe because Big Dom wasn't in the picture yesterday. Maybe that was the reason why they lost, because I didn't see that character not one time. Usually I'm screaming about he's all over the place. Not one sighting with Big Dom yesterday. That's probably why they lost.
Maybe, I'm sure he was there, but I didn't see him.
I didn't either. Either that, they probably told him to stay in the locker room, one of the two. All I know is you better fix your shit.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
What's the matter with you? There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
There sure shit isn't. Ridiculous.
All right, let me move on. Let's get to and we'll be more on the Eagles. I'd love to have your Eagle fans out there. I know there's a lot of you that listen. I want to hear your thoughts. 727-858-6650. I think it's pretty simple. I mean, the offensive coordinator is going to be under scrutiny for the entire day, for the entire week. They got to do something. He's got to address it. And I'm wondering if somebody yesterday in the Philadelphia media didn't really go at Nick Sirianni. I think he's going to start to really, really feel it from the Philadelphia media. I feel like it's coming, and he's going to get defensive. And I guess I don't blame him, but your offensive coordinator is going to come under a lot of heat, and that is on the head coach for allowing it to happen. To continue to allow the same thing that is inexcusable, to only run the ball 9 times in the second half with that guy, with Saquon Barkley on the team, inexcusable. Yep. I mean, that it happened that way.
The boys last night, Derek Gunn, Seth Joyner, and Farzi last night on the Seth Joyner show, there was no holds barred last night with what they had to say, and they made all great points. And it wasn't homer points. They brought out a lot of good points that a lot of people have been talking about. And yeah, they put Kevin to the fire, and Dum Dum HC is no different. He's on a fire list too. Dumbass.
Well, look, I can't fault them for yesterday. That was going to that tough environment. They're still banged up from the Buffalo game. For a couple, but yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to see if the Bucs can hang on. They still lead the division, even though everybody's right on their heels. They're still 6-5. Rick says my head hurts. Is that from the Eagles? Eagles fan? Okay.
Yeah, Rick Marcus.
I understand. All right, Patriots come from behind, down 10 early. I really didn't. It was what it was. I never felt they were going to lose this game. Patriots. Beat the Bengals, win their 9th in a row. They're now the number 1 seed in the AFC. Did not start off particularly well, though. for the Patriots. Let me get to the highlights here. Okay, it's already 3-0 Cincinnati, and then they extend the lead in the first.
The left guard, 2nd down 4, and that is picked off on the play. Grabbed by Geno Stone. Blockers ahead, including Knight. He is in on a pick 6. 33-yard return.
Yep, that made it 10-0 Cincinnati, but worry not. Here come the Patriots. Hunter Henry with a monster game.
Henry, the tight end, led him in receptions a year ago. Here we go. 1st and 10, escaping traffic. Wide open, Henry. That's a Patriot touchdown.
115 yards and a touchdown on 7 catches yesterday as well. So that made it 10-7. And here comes the Patriots take the lead for good.
Down in 5 for the quarterback, Joe Flacco. Super Bowl MVP with Baltimore. Brooks was the back. Flacco will go underneath. Oh, it's picked off. That's a pick 6. Kiss him goodbye. Marcus Jones.
Yep, Patriots go on to win 26-20. The Bengals did get a late touchdown to cut it 23-20, an 18-yard pass to Mitchell Tinsley from Flacco. But Borregales has been absolutely lights out since week 2 of the Miami game. We missed 2 extra points. He has been basically perfect, absolutely perfect. 4 field goals yesterday, including a 52-yarder. Patriots go on to win 26-20. Here is, after the game, Drake May on the Patriots' 9th straight win.
Drake, congratulations on the win. This one started off slowly for you guys offensively. Where did you feel like you started to find a rhythm?
Yeah, just got to battle back. Going to face adversity in this league. Blessed to be out here. Thank the good Lord for, another win. And just that's football. That's
Lord's
the NFL.
there.
Battling back, trying to find a way to win. These guys, we got a lot of cleanup, but, came out with a win.
Yeah, and a career high in passing yards for you, 294 on the day. How were you able to do that, especially after losing the left side of your offensive line to injury today?
That's next man up. That's what we've been like, the whole year. Proud of the guys for coming in and playing and competing. The guys were open a lot today, and I got to make some better throws. But like I said, glad we got to win.
A 9-game win streak now, still undefeated on the road. How are you guys maintaining this level of play?
Yeah, we want to get the 10th win. That's what we came here to do. Play good on the road and just keep building the identity and keep on going one week at a time.
Thanks so much, Drake.
Hey guys, go back.
Lord in the locker, that's Lord. It was there. Amazingly, there again on the winning side of a football team. Yep. Was there. Zach Taylor did not mention the Lord. And here's Zach Taylor, head coach of the Bengals.
It's just been one of those years where we haven't found a way at the end of the game, and that's been frustrating. It's frustrating for everybody, but guys aren't losing hope. It's important to everybody to just keep at this thing and find a way to get some momentum here.
At 3-8, what are y'all building momentum for?
To just find a win.
Jesus. Wow.
I didn't hear that. We'll play that again.
It's just been one of those years where we haven't found a way at the end of the game, and that's been frustrating. It's frustrating for everybody, but guys aren't losing hope. It's important to everybody to just keep at this thing and find a way to get some momentum here.
At 3-8, what are y'all building momentum for?
To just find a win.
Oh, that's funny.
Good Lord. That's someone that they've had it.
Here's Joe Flacco reflecting on his starts.
I feel really fortunate to have kind of found myself in this situation. As much as I would have loved to see us win games, I still have had a lot of fun here with these guys in the locker room. Going out, lacing them up with these guys has been a lot of fun. And I've felt right at home and have had a blast doing it.
All right, Angel, if we could scroll down right under the show. I should have played this after the Patriot highlights, but I completely forgot. Let's go inside the Patriot locker room after the game and hear from Mike Vrabel and some of the guys after the Patriots' 26-20 win over the Bengals in Cincy.
Yeah, this is what a winning locker room looks like. Must be nice.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up. Fellas, okay, we try to come out and play. The shit isn't easy, and I want you to understand that. And at the first sign of something happening, okay, we can't just, oh, man, damn it. Like, we need everybody in here. If you guys didn't understand that already, you saw that today. Everybody stepped up. I'm proud of the coaching staff. I'm more proud of the players, okay? There's going to be some dirty games out there. And what we need to do is come together a little bit tighter and fix problems. And it starts with me. That's our job, is to fix problems and then compete and communicate. Proud of you, man. We said we wanted to be the first team in the NFL to win 10 games. Okay, and we are, but we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do, especially down the stretch. Okay, so we got to get healthy. And if you had an opportunity and you didn't like it, well, then you got to do something about it. Okay, there's guys in here that stepped up, man. Pop, I appreciate what you did coming out of half. Okay, giving us a spark there on third down, okay, and helping us. Okay, and there's so many guys, Andy, that's the way to do your job. Offense, we got to finish these drives off. We got to finish these drives off with touchdowns. Okay, defense, we got to settle down and understand, like, we can give up a first down. We got to start turning the football over, but I'm proud to be your coach. Okay, there's a lot for us to be thankful for. Okay, this football team and the people that are around you. Okay, so let's break it down here real quick, and we'll get home and we'll get the hell out of here. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. Like I said, though, it's going to be interesting. The Patriots play the Giants, host the Giants on Monday Night Football a week from tonight. And we will find out. I just have a bad feeling about Jared Wilson with his ankle injury and Will Campbell. That is basically, that's the starting left side of the Patriots offensive line. Overall, after the two guys went down, they played pretty well. But, man, that is tough to lose your starting guard and your starting left tackle at that point. And you lost Jared Wilson on the first on this first series. Sorry, my nose is running big time. You know what it is, because down here, did you get a lot of fog up there this morning in Tampa? We got
a ton.
A lot of hazy, like a smoky smell out there. You know?
Yep.
Get that up there?
Oh yeah, we got it because
Like
it's
a smoky smell.
looking out the studio window. It's nothing but fog.
Yeah, I mean the doors. We got the doors and the night screens, all that stuff, but not for much longer, because the humidity is going to go up. But anyway, yeah, we digress. It's like freezing cold everywhere else around the country, a lot of places. All right. What I do want to play. Let's see. There's I just had it. What did I do? Why did I not do that? What did I do? Hang on. I got to hear from Hunter Henry as well, as he was coming off the field yesterday. He had a big game for the Patriots. Here's Hunter after the game, or as he's walking off.
Pats Nation. Got to grind one out. Another one on the road. Just got to keep stacking them. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support. Let's go, baby. 10 wins. Let's keep going.
What's up, Pat fans? Marcus Jones here, man. Great win in Cincy. We back to Foxborough and everything like that. Appreciate you guys so much.
Pats Nation.
Yep.
Got to
All right, good stuff there. Good stuff there. We get a lot of NFL news to talk about as well. There's college football news. The Florida State Seminoles announcing yesterday, shockingly, that they're going to hang on to Mike Norvell, the head coach, for another year. I'm kind of shocked at that. And then we had the breaking news on Friday after the show, not too long after, that LSU has come up with this gargantuan deal, courtesy of Governor Landry. Lane Kiffin's got, going to be the highest paid coach in college football. On top of that, $24 million every year to go get players. I mean, and then you hear that the Gators and the Rebels are going to match any offer. But it certainly feels like I went from 95 or 90% to 10% that Lane Kiffin would not be leaving. Now I'm less than 50-50. And the shit is going to hit the fan this week before the Egg Bowl. And this is, you talk about your team or my team or the Eagles or whatever, you have coaching difficulties or a locker room stuff. This is an unbelievable story. If he ever leaves, and to me, there's no way, if he does, that they are going to allow him to coach, maybe not even this week, if this all comes to fruition. There's no way. If you're LSU or Florida, and you get him, you're not letting him coach. I mean, what those kids? I mean, geez, what do you do? What do you tell them? It's just unbelievable. After you said that you wouldn't leave for a whole pile of money, and I'm still not entirely convinced he's going to leave. But man, this is an unbelievable story. Which we'll get to more of that coming up a little bit later on. I want to see something, Angel, real quick here before we get to more NFL highlights. And Oregon over USC this week, 42-27. Pittsburgh really just jumped out all over Georgia Tech, which helps out Miami. We'll get to that in a second. BYU over Cincinnati, tough win there, 26-14. Oklahoma, tough win over Missouri, 17-6. And let me see. No, okay. We'll get back to the NFL in a second. And I go back to the Miami game against Virginia Tech. And I'm telling you, the double standard is unbelievable. Riddick was sitting there doing color commentary during the entire second half. The entire second half was Miami needs to win by a lot. They basically need to have sexy wins, blah, 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 blah. You don't hear that? Utah gave up 427 yards on the ground. Utah did. And they hung on over a mediocre to bad Kansas State team. 427 yards they gave up on the ground. There was no talk about Utah having to play sexy or whatever. I think it is so sad right now that if you don't blow out teams, and the committee says, led by the latest hack from Utah, the AD, Hunter Yurachek, they keep putting their foot in their mouth. The hypocrisy they keep spinning it one way for certain teams like Notre Dame and others, and a different way for teams like Miami. That winning big doesn't count. Well, obviously winning big does count. And the Hurricanes had to go for they didn't need to, but I know that Mario Cristobal saw the writing on the wall. They need to win by 17 instead of 10 because 17 looks better. And Vanderbilt was in the same situation the other day. They could have easily taken their foot off the gas pedal against Kentucky. Not that you ever want to do that, but they were clearly trying to run up the score on Kentucky. And they achieved it. in their route. But I mean, the last three games, the Miami Hurricanes have outscored their opponents. Where I have it all. I have this all written down, or all posted. Give me 1 second here. I'll make sure I get this right. Hang on. Hold on. Hold, please. 113-34. Miami's outscored the last three opponents 113-34. But I guess they caught Syracuse on a bad day because they only beat them by 28, and Notre Dame caught them on the worst day where they were up in that debacle. And you have all these the Notre Dame fans are saying, "Now, well, look at we had a more convincing win over Syracuse. We had you didn't have a more convincing win over NC State than Miami did, and you still didn't beat Miami at the beginning of the year. And don't let that 3-point, because trust me, I was there. Anybody who was there knows Miami beat them from start to finish in that game. That game was not a 3-point game. At the end, they won by 3, but it wasn't a 3-point game. Miami dominated that game. But you keep hearing this narrative from people like Riddick, who's doing color commentary for the Miami game, and Dave Pash, I believe, were doing the game on ESPN on Saturday. And you just keep hearing the narrative over and over again that Miami has to win a certain way. They don't talk about Utah. They don't talk about BYU. They don't talk about even Texas A&M and why they didn't drop after barely hanging on to beat a crappy South Carolina team. But that's okay. But anybody else, if it's Miami or a few other teams, then you got to win by a certain amount or you don't have the committee's respect, even though the committee says that they are not seeking blowing out scores. But then they clearly are. If you can't see, if the committee cannot see, if 117-34 over the last 3 weeks is not convincing enough, then I don't know what is. And it's going to be really, really interesting tomorrow night when the rankings come out again to see exactly what happens. All right, let's continue here with some highlights. Like I said, a lot of bad teams played well yesterday. Let's go to the Giants, okay? Detroit, huge favorite in this game, almost a 2-touchdown favorite. And I'll tell you what, it didn't look that way early on. Jameis Winston was on fire.
As a fullback in the backfield. 3rd down and 2 on the toss. Singletary back to Winston. And now Winston fires downfield into the end zone. Touchdown, Wan'Dale Robinson.
$17-0. Well, it's Winston. And Winston with another touchdown pass in the second quarter to extend the lead.
Empty backfield, 3rd down and 8. As Winston throws to the end zone, it is caught for a touchdown. Isaiah Hodgins.
All right, that made it 17-7, but here come the Lions. Let's head to back to the second quarter.
Standing football for them. On 1st and goal, it is Gibbs, reaches across, touchdown.
Yes, and but here come, that made it 17-14, but here come the Giants again.
Now we hear him. Another trick play as Olszewski throws. It's caught. Olszewski with the pass into the end zone for a Giants touchdown. Jameis Winston.
Gotta love it. 27-17. Looks like the Giants have a great shot to pull off the upset. That was in the fourth quarter, but hold on.
0. Right, the blown leads have been well documented. There's Gibbs. Belton couldn't bring him down. Holland chasing after him. And Jahmyr Gibbs is into the end zone for a Lions touchdown, 49.
I made it 27-24. It's 27-27, and we head to overtime.
Keep watching that. There's Gibbs on first down. Jahmyr Gibbs across midfield. One man to beat. Inside the 20, the 10. Touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. In overtime. Remember, the Giants will have an opportunity. Gibbs takes it 69 yards.
Yeah, but the Giants could not capitalize. And in overtime, Detroit over the Giants 34-27. Here's Dan Campbell on Gibbs' performance.
What can you say about Gibbs? Just the impact that he has week after week and big play after big play, Dan?
He's electric. And he's a game changer. No, I'm going to give credit to that O-line because I thought they really dug in today and did a good job. And receivers, as always, you don't get those knockout runs unless your receivers are blocking. But Gibbs, he's electric. And, man, when he found a crease, he was going to the house. This was not about first downs and, picking up a few yards or explode. I mean, this guy's going to the house, and he's got the juice to make it happen. He's got vision. He's a difference maker. So he bailed us out today in a big way.
Got that right. Jameis Winston on the loss.
One thing that I have always, one of my mental coaches, Jim Brogan, he always told me, and we always repeat it, is success is in a struggle. We have to continue to endure. One of my favorite Bible verses is, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces perseverance, and let that perseverance have its perfect work, so you can be complete, lacking nothing. And I think that this team is just in a season
buying that
where we're enduring certain trials. How I was so proud of the defense when they got that turnover. We just have to find a way to win, and that's as simple as that. I have to do my role better. We all have a part in this, but the coaches are putting us in a great position to do so collectively. We just have to find a way, and we will.
All right, Jameis Winston quoting a scripture, which I appreciate. Mike Kafka, head coach of the Giants, says today's loss, though, is different. It's not the same.
I wouldn't say it's the same old story. I think we had an opportunity at the end of the game and, took a really good team to overtime, and, we got to find a way to finish those games. I really believe in our players. I believe in our coaches. They're battling. They're hard out for us. And, just continuing to have that mentality, like that aggressive mentality, and continue to ramp it up come practice time this next week. That's the only thing we can look at right now is, all right, where can we get better? Where can we improve? Take those little things and let's really work on them. Let's detail them out and make sure that doesn't happen again.
Well, again, Jahmyr Gibbs was unbelievable. That 69-yard touchdown run you had in overtime in the first snap, 264 yards from scrimmage, along with 3 scores, and the Lions come back and beat the Giants 34-27. Jameis Winston, pretty good game for him, 18 of 36, only 50%, 366 yards though, and 2 touchdowns with an interception, and he also caught a touchdown in this game as well, a 33-yard pass that he had. That he caught for the touchdown. Goff was 28 of 42, 279, 2 touchdowns and an interception. And as we said, Gibbs on the ground, 219 yards and 2 touchdowns on 15 carries. And he had 45 yards and a receiving touchdown on 11 targets in receiving as well for the Lions yesterday. Is Deputy Sean still on the line?
See.
All right, let's go. I got about 90 seconds here, Deputy Sean. So go. Moral victory for you guys. Are you buying what Kafka said? It's not the same old type of luck. Well, you guys played hard yesterday. Give you a lot of credit. You played hard. James played a lot better than I thought. But go ahead.
I'm gonna shut up. No, I don't understand how he says that it's different. It's not. It's the same. The Giants blew it again in the fourth quarter. I don't blame him for going for it on fourth down because you can't trust the Giants defense, and they literally just showed why you can't trust them. And for some reason, your best defensive tackle is not on the field in overtime on the first play because some stupid reason, I guess. I don't know. They didn't come up with a good reason on why he wasn't there. Someone said that he was feeling something. I said, I don't care if he was feeling something, throw him in. We need him. Because Jamar Gibbs didn't get touched once. Not one person even put a hand on him on that run.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's the same old story with the Giants. The offense does what it's supposed to do, and the defense still doesn't do anything for this sixth straight time at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is 6 straight times.
Yep.
I don't understand what it's going to take for Shane Bowen to get fired. And I know Mike Kafka can't probably do anything because he's only the interim head coach, so he probably has no say in it. But at what point does John Mara, the man who said he was running out of patience, and sat there and straight up said, if they don't get right soon, people are going to start getting fired. And yet now we're 11 games or 12 games into the season.
Yeah.
And your defensive coordinator has lost you now 6 different games where the Giants could have won them. And yet he somehow still has his job. And then I hear Mike Kafka saying that he's got confidence in him. Now, I know Mike Kafka's probably going to say that because, he's got to say something to the media. And,
yeah, he does. Yeah.
If he goes against the ownership, he's going to be canned. So he's trying to just do enough to keep his job. But Bowen's got to go. He's the reason why we're losing these games. Jameis Winston's doing his part, just like Jackson Dart did. They're both doing their part. The offense is looking great. It's the defense that keeps failing the Giants.
Well said, Deb. I can't disagree. I don't know why the defensive tackle wasn't in unless we find out that he really couldn't play. Did he come in? Because that game was on Red Zone. We were watching other stuff. Did he come in at all during that series? No, actually, he couldn't. They didn't get the ball back. He couldn't come in because that was it. The Giants couldn't score to tie the game.
Yeah.
That's bizarre. So it's going to be interesting to hear Kafka say why he was not in on that play.
Maybe 12 o'clock, just like, at 12 p.m. when the Giants fire Dayball, I might hear they fire Shea Bowen. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping for, but it's probably not going to happen. If you can't fire him after giving up 30 points to the Denver Broncos, I don't know what else we need to prove to that he needs to go. That's another game. And how do the defensive players not stand up and at this point start going against the organization?
They might in the locker room. They might be sure. We just don't know. They might be in the locker room. I'm sure there are people livid in that locker room, just like in Philadelphia. They got to be livid at their offensive coordinator. You're up by 21. Thanks for the call, Deputy Sean. Appreciate it.
You too, Sean.
We'll chat after the Patriots beat the Giants next week, hopefully, on Monday Night Football. But he's right. If the Giants' defense you got to be pissed, just like the Eagles' offense has got to be pissed. You got to be. You gotta be just like on that plane ride home. I can't even only imagine what that was like in that. All right, we'll get back to some more NFL in a second. Let me get to the Sheppard Sanders. Angel, I do want, if you want to scroll down for Josh Prey, we'll get to him in a second. If you want to scroll down to my Twitter and find him a little bit. And he had another epic classic meltdown right there. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Let's get to Cleveland and Sheppard Sanders against maybe the worst team in the league in the Las Vegas Raiders, okay? But he got it going. The Browns got it going. We know what their defense has been like all year. Pretty damn good.
Backfield. Judkins will keep it himself. Judkins with a burst inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown, Browns. Excellent blocking on the right side of the offensive line, and the Browns are...
All right, so that made it 7-0 Browns, and let's see, 14-0 Browns after this run.
And here he goes again. He scored earlier. He lowers his shoulder to the goal line. Touchdown, Browns. Second Wildcat run of the day for Cleveland.
Yes. So anyway, it is, let's see. It's 14-0 at that point. The Browns go on to win. Here is Dylan Sampson on his touchdown pass from Sheppard Sanders' first career.
And they go to Sampson out of the backfield. He's got 2 tight ends blocking on the outside. He's got room. He bursts Looks inside Raiders territory. One man to beat. He won't be caught. Touchdown, Sampson. 66 yards.
A lot of yaks there. Anyway, Shedeur Sanders gets the first win for a rookie quarterback in his first start, I believe, since 1995. I got to find out who that was, but I believe that's the stat I heard this morning. Okay, Shedeur Sanders. I said earlier this week that's why I picked the Browns plus 4.5, and it was because I'm glad he got the win. I'm happy for him. He got the start against a horrible team, and it wasn't against a really anything decent. The Raiders are just absolutely awful. I think they're the worst team in the league. He was 11 of 20, 209 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Okay, not too bad. He had the as far as Sampson had the long 66-yarder, which accounted for 66 of those 209 yards. He was pretty good. He was pretty good. Here's Shedeur Sanders after the game, talking about his debut.
I'm not going to lie, I felt very relaxed. And half of that comes from preparing, studying, and knowing I got God on my side. So throughout all that, I had no worries. I didn't feel nervous or anything before the game because, he took all my worries and everything away.
Okay. Shedeur Sanders on people wanting to see him fail.
So a lot of people want to see me fail, and it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
Look, I do a lot of people want to see him fail. No, but they were judging him on, and maybe unfairly last week when he came in, and never taken any snaps with the ones. Okay, he took snaps with the one, and I don't want to see him fail. I'm not invested one way or the other. I don't really care. I don't want to see him get hurt, but I don't want to see him fail either. He can be successful all he wants, but I don't know all these people that they're just pointing out that you were the fourth-string quarterback at one point this year on this team, and only because of injuries are you able to play. And if you weren't playing the Raiders this week, you probably would have lost, more than likely. That is a horrible, horrible football team. But look, you did it. Congratulations. And Geno Smith and the Raiders are just awful. They fired Brian Kelly after a game, the offensive coordinator. He's terrible. Maybe you can take him, Angel.
Nope.
He can be your OC.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Yeah. Here's a Kevin Stefanski, head coach on Shedeur Sanders.
Well, I think you saw a lot of what Shedeur does well on the field today. I thought to make that play off schedule when we were outmanned in protection and get the ball down the field. So there's a lot that he's doing well, and there's a lot that he's working on, which is what I appreciate about young guys that want to get better.
All right. So there you have it. 10 sacks for the Browns defense yesterday. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 NFL sacks. Remember that from Sesame Street? 10 chocolate sundaes. And the guy would fucking tumble down the stairs. Oh, the beautiful parfaits. That was terrible. All right, more NFL stuff coming up as well. Jay Flanagan going to join me at 8:05. We're going to take a break in a second. But I did want to because once we have Jay Flanagan coming on at 8 o'clock, and then Jacob Davis, I can't wait, young man who covers Mississippi State, and Arkansas, and for a variety of networks. And it's going to be a fascinating conversation. He is hip deep in what is going on with the Lane Kiffin situation. We'll get to that. It was 2003, Angel Martinez, way back, 2003, the last time the Tennessee Volunteers went to the Swamp and won. I think it was like 3 presidents ago, until Saturday night. And you know what? Wasn't even close. Hey, Deborah, good morning. It wasn't even close. Josh Prey. I don't know how more he can take. Going to see him. He's coming home. We played the video last week. He's coming to Off the Hook Comedy Club in Naples, where he's from, Naples-Immokalee area, where he's from, December 18th. That's a Thursday. I'll be there. But I'm hoping Josh is there. I hope he makes it. Because he could spontaneously combust. But here's Josh Prey on the Gators' epic loss at home in the Swamp to the Tennessee Vols.
A lot of the world knows me as comedian Josh Prey. I'm a huge Gator fan. I haven't made content in a few days. Been going through some stuff. I woke up this morning and checked the score of the Florida-Tennessee game. I've been a Florida Gator fan since 1993. I'm 41 years old. When I grew up, We never lost to Kentucky. I never watched us lose to Kentucky. I watched us beat Georgia, win SEC championships, compete for national titles. It was just some things that like we didn't do and I didn't have to see as a Gator fan. We are now Kentucky's homecoming game. Vanderbilt is better than us, and Tennessee hadn't beaten us in the swamp in the last 3 presidents. Tennessee came into the swamp last night, kicked us in the mouth, put big-ass veneers back in our mouth, then kicked those out and put braces on our gums. As a Florida Gator fan, I'm not a football player. I wasn't good enough to be a Florida Gator football player. I'm just a fan. I spend a lot of money on Florida Gator gear, like a lot of money. I have floor mats, I have car mats, I have towels, book bags, hats, shirts, boxers, socks. I've been to Florida Gator football games. I've spent a lot of money on tickets. I've done a lot of things. Watching Tennessee come into Gainesville last night and do us how they did us has me sick to my stomach. Tennessee, I have nothing. I have nothing. That loss lowered my credit score. I have nothing. I need y'all to understand when I say nothing, I have nothing. They put their foot so far in our ass is swole. It look like we walking around with a BBL. Somebody create an AI with a Gator having a BBL, because that's what they did. I have nothing. Go Gators.
He could do his show on the 18th of December at Off the Hook Comedy Club in Naples, and we could just play in the background. He could just sit there on a stool with a old microphone, not say a word, and we just play every single Florida loss this year on video, and that would take up an hour, which is usually what most comedians do, about an hour and 15 minutes, that headline. And I would be happy with that. He didn't have to say anything. I don't need any new material. You know, and it's going to be weird having him talk about stuff other than football. But he is so freaking hysterical talking about the Gators. Honestly, I could just watch all the videos in a row for an hour for this past year, maybe some from last year as well. And hysterical, absolutely hysterical. All right. Phil Castanetti, Sports World in Saugus, Mass. is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia for over 35 years. Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectibles, so head on down there. Phil Castanetti, Sports World in Saugus, Mass. at 184 Broadway. Call 781-233-7222 for more information. Remember, you don't have to live in Massachusetts. There's a great webpage, but you can call 781-233-7222. They have all sorts of memorabilia. It's not just New England stuff. Sports World in Saugus, be there. Also, for the best articles in audio, only one source that provides everything you need 365 days a year to satisfy your sports crave. It's Total Sports Prep. Staff combing through the best articles in audio so you don't have to. Sports and non-sports kicker stories will leave you laughing all day long. To get your free trial of Total Sports Prep, contact them. info@sportsbroadcastingcoach.com. That's info@sportsbroadcastingcoach.com. Total Sports Prep, the name says it all. Quick break. When we come back, Jay Flanley up at Beeves World in Ann Arbor, from Beeves World in Ann Arbor, will join us next. We'll get his thoughts about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as well. All part of the Pete Sheppard Show here on a wacky Monday on the Coastal Sports Digital Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
Henry, the tight end, led him in receptions a year ago. Here we go, 1st and 10, escaping traffic. Wide open, Henry. That's a Patriot touchdown.
And the kick is good. Kansas City survives. And the kick is good. Kansas City survives.
So Little now from 52, and the kick is perfect. So Jacksonville.
All right, some of the sounds, sorry for the double cut, wasn't supposed to be that way. But anyway, welcome back to the Pete Sheppard Show here in the Coastal Sports Digital Network. On this Monday, Jacksonville hangs on. They win. The Colts lose in Kansas City. at the buzzer as well in overtime by 3. Tonight, Carolina and San Francisco should be a really, really interesting game coming up on Monday Night Football. Some of the other highlights, and we wait for Jay Flanley to chime in. Baltimore and the Jets. The Ravens, they're winning, but I don't know. There's something a little off about this team. Lamar Jackson and the team's current winning momentum, however.
Feel great, wish we was in a better situation, but 5-0, we got to just keep it going, man. It's a tough division, tough league. Like I said, we just got to keep going.
Yeah, got to keep going. Again, the Ravens are now ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They would be the number 4 seed if the playoffs started today. The Ravens have won 5 in a row. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't get caught up in sexiness of wins. It's just. I guess it's because they're playing the Jets, and the Jets are just absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. But the Bears hang on. They win and they cover. We welcome in Jay Flanley from Beeves World this morning up in Ann Arbor. His Wolverines took care of business nicely on the road against Maryland. But there's a lot of other stuff going on in the world of college football. When last we spoke, Jay, wow, you're looking happy ahead. Look at that mustache. Look at that.
There you go. Yeah.
You should have a Netflix special.
I know. I get everything from Hitler to Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
I prefer looking like Ted Lasso, clearly.
Yeah. Or any other out-of-work porn star would be better than the first guy you mentioned. I don't even like saying his name.
I know. See, you just gave me a fantasy sports team name, out-of-work porn star. There you go. Good job.
Well, when last we spoke on Friday, just when we thought the Lane Kiffin situation couldn't get any more
gone.
I was 90, but then again, look at Florida State keeping Mike Norvell. I'm stunned at that. But I mean,
because they don't have any money. You've seen this with a couple of schools. They don't have the money to fire a guy. Michigan State, same thing.
I heard that, but then I thought they were doing it in increments and that they had the money. I agree. I didn't think they had the money. My buddy Mia O'Brien from ESPN Radio, who's very close to the situation, said she thought they did have the money. It was going to be paid off in increments. But I think cooler heads prevail. The fans must be not happy about it. But
I'm glad to see Thomas Castellanos has worked out.
What a joke he is! What a joke!
You have Meter on, and half of what Meter tells you is about what it is. Because it's much worse than he could comment on. Same thing with Bill O'B. You have no idea.
Well, I told you Friday night, NC State only plays well at home and at night. And that doesn't surprise me.
Sounds like me with the women of Ann Arbor, dum-dum. But no, I'm kidding. Not really, but yeah. Continue.
Hang on a second. Same way.
What'd you do?
Nothing. There's something going on in the other room. It's okay.
I got you. No problem.
Anyway, so last we spoke, and here it is, Lane Kiffin and his decision coming Saturday.
After the Egg Bowl.
After the Egg Bowl. I'm not sure, Jay, he's going to make it to Saturday. I don't know if he's going to make it to Saturday.
If he loses Friday, he ain't getting to Saturday. No, you're all correct. Well, he's not going to be their coach. I don't think he'll be their coach on Saturday. I think he's going to leave and they're going to fire him. He won't coach.
Let me rephrase it because the Egg Bowl's Friday. He may not make it to that game. I'm not sure he's going to make it to Friday. If all this,
he really can't help himself. He's one of these guys. He just puts his foot in his mouth all the time.
He's going to break on Thanksgiving Day. Watch, we'll be having dinner and this will be happening, and it's going to.
Kind of like my Mets making a major trade in the middle of NFL Sunday, but continue. Yes.
What just an absolute incredible situation going on here, and the money and Governor. I was at 90-10 about 2 months ago that he was going to leave, that he wasn't going to leave. Then I saw the Ryan McGee interview. Sort of at the time cinched it for me because they went through everything that he went through, from his drinking problems to everything. And it certainly seemed like he and his wife or his girlfriend, whatever, his family were content on staying in Mississippi. Now I'm about 25% that he's staying. He's going to go, and it's going to be. And I'm serious. I don't know if he's going to make it to Friday. if all this
See.
shit hits the fan in the next couple of days. I'm not sure he's going to be able to coach in the Egg Bowl, and I don't know what the hell those kids must be thinking through this whole thing, and it's unbelievable. It'd be one
So
thing if they were ranked 20th or 25th
Yeah.
and not in the they have a chance, legitimate chance to do some serious damage here, and he's probably not going to be, even if he coaches the Egg Bowl, more probable than not, he does not coach in the college football playoff.
You're correct. And like how Harbaugh did when he left here, he's going to take most of his staff, most of the support people. So you're going to have nothing left, and you're going to go into a bowl game or whatever the hell you want to call it, the playoff game with a depleted roster. Penn State went through this last year with the stupid rules and the transfer, and the Bull Pubula kid left their backup quarterback who they had to put him in for packages in the games. So, different things going on here. He's gone. He's a weird guy. But here's the number one thing that people aren't understanding. It's a lot easier to win at LSU or Florida than it is to win at Ole Miss. And that's what's going on here. That's why I have great respect for Cignetti staying at Indiana. By the way, remember when everybody was telling you that Penn State was going to fill that job immediately? And I told you, pump your brakes. They have two long-term people they're talking to. One is one of the guys we're going to kick his ass Saturday here right up the street from me. That's Mr. Hartline. He's going to get his 5. He's going to complete the hand with the 5. That's what Hartline's here for. And then the James Madison coach, Chesney, who used to be at Holy Cross.
Yep.
That's the one that nobody's talking about. He's talking to everybody. Because you know why? Because Cignetti did what he's doing. He went to a small lower school, and this is kind of what Matt Rule did to get put on the pool, because he was at Temple, he was at Baylor, these jobs that aren't supposed to be, hey, go and win there and be really good. Urban Meyer did this in stages. He went to Utah when they weren't a big deal, and Bowling Green.
Yeah.
So if you can go to a lower level program and do well, like how Lane has done, and a big job opens, you should leave. The money, they're going to give him $90 million and $25 million for his players.
Yeah, but I've also read that Mississippi is going to match that offer, and so is Florida.
So Mississippi cannot. Mississippi, by the way, they're going to change the NIL rules and a lot of this stuff. So Ole Miss is not going to be able to go out and buy players like they used to. LSU's been doing it for years.
I believe that, Jay, when I see it, because the structure.
No. Well, it's coming down. I know.
Hang on a second. Besides the nil money, which is a whole, but it's not even so much about the nil money. It's when everything is out of sync. Coaching, player signing period, coaches leaving.
Yes, what Saban talked about Saturday. Yes.
Yeah, everything. They have to get that all in. Before you even talk about nil money and restrictions, they got to get this thing synchronized where this can't happen, where this cannot happen. And can I just play this one clip for you as well?
Go ahead. That's why I'm here.
Right. This Heather Dinich and Paul Feinbaum. And
I like one of those people.
Well, I like Heather a lot, and Paul, give or take, is something. But he's been, I think, very good because he's been on my side about Miami lately, so I like him again. But this is going to be interesting tomorrow night how the committee might react to all this Lane Kiffin stuff.
Got all the attention off the field because of Lane Kiffin. I realize that should not have anything to do with what the committee will do.
But it does.
I am very interested, Heather, and everyone else. If Ole Miss starts getting discounted a little bit because of the possibility that Lane Kiffin may not be there after this Friday.
Like Florida State a couple years ago.
In terms of what the CFP committee should be doing, but they have been off the wall pretty much all year anyway.
They have. This is.
Can I follow that?
Please, Heather.
Can I follow that to let you know what the committee will do if Lane Kiffin's not there? So this would be compared to Jordan Travis and Florida State. Just like if your starting quarterback is injured and is not going to play going into the college football playoff. Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin is not going to fall out of the college football playoff. Might they drop a spot or two because they don't have their head coach? Yes, that's possible. But the best comparison is to go back to with Florida State. But with Florida State, it was only a 4-team playoff. Yes. There's 12 teams in this spot. They're not going to fall out without Lane Kiffin.
All right. And she's probably right. Heather's probably right. And then you go back to your boys many years ago with Steve Fisher taking over that program, right? The basketball team and going on to win the national
A
championship.
Michigan man's going to coach Michigan.
Yeah. Yes. They both
How'd that work out?
That worked out well for that year. Yeah, you know. And
that's back when we had men running sports, not stupid wusses and college presidents and idiots.
Were you a Michigan guy back then?
I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay. Because how that all went down was just amazing, you know, with the coach leaving and taking another job. And
very you know who the two best players in that team were?
Yeah.
Ramil and Glenn Rice.
Yep.
And so I came in May of '93, but I graduated high school in September, '91.
Yeah.
But so my buddy, who was the captain here in '95 for football, Joe Marinaro, came in with the Fab Five, and so they had a little lull. You know, the team that got beat by Loyola Marymount with the Bo Kimball team after
Hank Gathers passed away.
After Hank Gathers passed away,
mm-hmm.
They hit like 40 threes on us, and because Glenn graduated, he was the MVP of the Final Four. And
they were so fun. They'd break down 4 on none and throw threes up. They were amazing.
Oh, I know that team. That game was. I mean, we lost like one.
Westfall back. Who's coaching them?
Yes, it was Westfall. Yes,
who came from the Lakers, and then But
I talked to Coach Fisher about that all the time. How good they shot. It was the Jeff Fryer kid.
Yeah.
He just and Bo Kimball doing the one shot, the one foul shot. People don't realize how good Hank Gathers was. Hank Gathers led the country in rebounding and scoring. And it's like the only people down there like Xavier McDaniel and one other guy.
The night he collapsed, were
you watching? I was watching when that happened. Yes,
and I lived across the street from the beach in Narragansett, and I got so shaken up by it.
He was dead.
I went for a walk on the beach, and I literally threw up. I got so sick to my stomach. I was by a lifeguard chair, not a lifeguard chair, but I was by the pavilion because it was March, and I literally threw up.
Yeah,
I was so upset by what I saw when you saw him shaking on the ground. Like it really, really got to me back then.
Yeah, we hadn't had Reggie Lewis and a couple other ones, DeMar Hamlin, obviously.
Yeah.
And like major medical emergencies in games happen. I think around the same time the Clint Malarchuk thing happened.
Well, that was to this day the most. I can't even watch that. I've watched it once. I could never watch it again. When they played on
my buddy.
And thank God that the clothespins were on the line holding the pucks in the bag. Otherwise, he would have died right there. They used clothespins from the bag to stop the bleeding.
So the trainer of the Sabres, they saved them. The doctors and the trainers have saved them.
Yeah.
My U of M buddy, Steve Shields, who played a little bit for the Bruins, the goalie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He came in there about 5 years after this, and they still talk about this thing. Clint still got the scar.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of problems, but that whole thing was crazy. The whole situation was nuts.
All right, let's get back to
But people don't understand. So Clint Malarchuk got his throat slashed, and he's a goalie in the NHL. There was an accident in front of net. His throat got slashed.
By accident. It's amazing it doesn't happen more often, to be honest with you, with all the pushing and shoving.
More of these guards and things, you've seen them.
Yeah. It's better now, but there's still a vulnerable spot in goal. It still can be. Sometimes if your head is lifted up or crazy stuff can happen. But anyway,
you're good.
First. All right, let's get back to the NFL. Every bad team yesterday, except for the
Pete, can I talk about Bernie Kosar real quick?
Oh yes. I guess he's doing pretty well.
I love Bernie Kosar. Big reason why I wore 19 my whole life in sports. Doing great. Jeremy Shaft and a lot of other great pieces on him this weekend. He's doing great. Go look. He's all over social media. He's very easy to find. They just posted a video of Coach Stefanski, and by the way, the Browns played great in his honor over the weekend. with Shador and the defense, and just played great. But serious hero of mine. He looks great. If you remember what he looked like about a week ago,
Yeah.
He's still got a long way to go with the health and everything, but he's doing much better. So praying for him and his family. Huge deal. I can't even give you a Boston guy to compare Bernie Kosar. It'd be the equivalent of Doug Flutie came in and starred for the Patriots.
Yeah.
And he was good on the Patriots, but he wasn't what Bernie Kosar was.
No,
Awesome.
I mean, he was one of the great Canadian football
Only
players.
the grace of God and John Elway stopped them from getting to the Super Bowl 3 times. I mean, that's how good John Elway is.
Not really. John Elway, on the drive, the second year, the first year of DJ Metcalf.
The three times, and the Ernest Biner.
Well, Ernest Biner fumble. I mean, the Browns did it to themselves. Did themselves 2 out of 3 times. And I still think they would have given San Francisco a better game than Denver did, losing 55-10.
And they would have definitely given the Giants a better game in '86 because they were a good matchup for the Giants.
Yeah,
they matched up. Marty Schottenheimer matched up very well the way style of play versus Parcells and Belichick. So because he's a defensive-oriented guy. So there you go.
All right,
okay, go back to the NFL, Pete. I'm sorry.
Go back to the Lions and the Giants. Every bad team, allegedly bad team, and the Giants are 2-10, so they're a bad team. But everybody played reasonably well yesterday, except for the Raiders, who absolutely are the most piss poor team. That's why I'm not getting. I'm glad.
Hey, but it was Chip Kelly's fault, Pete.
I'm not blaming Shadur Sanders. I'm not a hater on Shadur Sanders. It's the worst team in the league. Thank God he started against that team. It's a good way to get a win.
Oh, they're not the worst team in the league.
Oh, I
don't think the Browns are the worst team in the league. No, the Raiders are. I'm sorry, I get what you're saying. The Browns are not that bad.
Yeah,
the Raiders are clearly the worst team. Yes.
Yeah. The Jets are they're right up. They're right up there.
The Jets beginning of the year had players, and I think AG just decided to tear it down. That's just the way it is.
They're awful. But I mean, the Browns defense yesterday with 10 sacks. If you're going to have your first start and get a week of prep with the onesies, it was a good team to play. But I mean, 11-20. His numbers were okay. He's a rookie, so I mean, his numbers were okay. The defense is what won that game for 10 sacks, and Geno Smith was
Mason Graham and Myles Garrett, baby.
Yeah, so good for him. I mean, I'm glad for Shadur. I'm not a hater because I'm not invested one way or the other. I don't care. I don't want to see him get hurt. But now it's like he won this game. He was already talking about going to be a superstar franchise quarterback after the game.
Stop.
It's just enough already.
Please.
So let's get to the Lions. I want to get to your Lions. Gibbs was amazing yesterday. My God, absolutely.
They were very lucky to win that game.
They all-purpose yards and Jared Goff 28 of 42, 279, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Jameis Winston throwing for 50%, 2 touchdowns and an interception, and then catches one for a touchdown also. But entertaining game nonetheless. Hey,
I was exhausted. I stayed and watched the whole thing at work. I was like a bone marrow donor. I was so exhausted after that game. It was awful. It was brutal. Thank God for Aiden. The funniest thing is, Pete, and I've talked about this with Deborah and a couple of my friends. Yeah. So Gibbs gets the touchdown on the first play of overtime, and I forgot the rule. I thought the game was over. So Gibbs gets the 85-yard touchdown, and I'm like, well, why aren't Dan and the players running off? And like, oh no, the Giants get the ball. And a lot of the game was Jameis throwing 50-50 balls because they have big receivers.
Yeah.
And the Lions corners are smaller guys. Meek Robertson and Brian Branch has been bad all year. They need to trade him. Took some more stupid, dumb penalties, and he's being targeted by the league. I don't know, Pete. If you punch Pat Mahomes and Juju Smith-Schuster on TV, on a national TV game, I think people will remember that. I don't know. That might give you a black flag around the league. So this is the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away with Dan Campbell. You can't have idiots like him and J-Mo on the team. By the way, J-Mo had as many catches yesterday as you and I did. So of course he's out humping the goalpost. So you hump the goalpost on your own time, son. As I'm something like Bill Parcells.
Well,
but,
I agree. But the Lions, as you said, they got to find a way to beat. I don't fault them for the Giants played well. Look, you're not gonna. I don't care about style points or sexy points in the NFL.
No,
usually
win. Patriots went through this yesterday too.
Well, yeah, they also had their starting left guard and Will Campbell. You had
the whole team, the whole offensive line.
Three of the 5 guys. Campbell goes down late in the game, and God, I hope that both of them are going to be okay. One of them was Wilson was carted off early on his first series, but. Look, they were, when they were down 10-0, that didn't bother me at all. Like, they're coming back. I wasn't even worried about it. They could have won by 13, whatever. They won the game. They won 9 in a row. They got 10 wins. They're the number 1 seed right now because the Colts lost. But what about, as I was talking with Angel, I get offended by bad coaching or just bad. I don't get the
I
Philadelphia.
want to see if you're going to bring up the one I saw that I almost put my fist through the TV.
I don't get the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday after being up 21-0 and running the ball, getting shut out for the last 40 minutes, and only running the ball 9 times after the 21-0 lead. It's the dumbest freaking coaching I've seen in a long time. And Catullo has got. If you're an Eagles fan, he's got to go. There's just something wrong with how that team plays on offense. And it's not just A.J. Brown, who had a monster game yesterday. That
was very predictable.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, the Cowboys still gave.
Well, no, they were going to at least feed him. They were going to at least feed him because he's been bitching.
Yeah, well,
so you knew that was coming.
Bitching 2 weeks ago too, and they didn't feed him last week. I mean, it was a very mediocre performance. But anyway, it's just bad coaching by the offensive coordinator, by Catullo, and bad coaching by Sirianni for allowing it. But I'm not an Eagles fan, but Angel is. Angel's sick to his stomach over there. From he's literally sick today. And sick to his stomach as well. Jay, what do you got going on?
Listen, we lost to Dallas. I know you got Jacob. I know you got Jacob coming on, but we got a small game here Saturday. So small game up the road here. We're bringing the bowling pins in.
Will it be open? Are you doing the Clubber Lang thing? What's your prediction, Jay, for Michigan over Ohio State? Big pause.
Oh, it's very. You're 100% right. Pain. Yes, pain. Lots of pain. We're gonna win, and they know it. We know it. Everybody who pays attention knows it. We played our best game last week. They've got a lot of injuries. I know Max is hurt for us, but Max will do everything humanly possible to play. And if he can't play, we'll pick him up. He's our leader and our captain.
Are you going to Big House? Are you going?
No. We're having a Venmo event, and Aiden's coming after the game.
Go to the stadium. When are you going to listen to me and charge $500 for this game to park in your driveway? When are you going to do that? You're missing out, man.
Well, no. First of all, I rent my parking spot year round. That's the first mistake. So, but by the way, is the IRS listening? I hope they're not. They're not, and the FBI or CIA. So, no. I rent my spot year round. I've done it for years. Again, I have no knowledge of this senator. No, but but no, it's funny. We'll be ready to go, but no, I don't go, and I'll be around. But got to work. I'll probably be in at work at 6, 7 in the morning. So,
all right, no show this Friday. No show on Thanksgiving or Friday.
So, Pete, you mean you didn't want to come in and do a show at 8 in the morning after Thanksgiving?
No.
I know, buddy. Hey, you and Angel have a good week. I see you got Jacob coming on. Have fun with my man, and we'll talk soon.
All right, bud. There he goes, just like that.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Stay well.
Thank you and your fam. Jay Planley up at Beavesville. He is in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and he's stupid for renting his parking, his driveway out for the whole season and not waiting. Do it, but make an exception for the game against Ohio State. Anyway, we welcome in another great guest, a rookie for the show, Jacob Davis, joining me, who covers Mississippi State, Arkansas. And I watch this on SI, but you're on like 5 or 6 different platforms here. Jacob, thanks for taking a few. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Looks like you're enjoying the beach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a virtual background, but yeah, I'm in Fort Myers, Florida. So it is basically like this almost every day. So it is. Now, how you doing? Where do you live in Mississippi or Arkansas? Where do you live?
Yeah, I live in Little Rock, but I travel around.
Okay. Well, this is fascinating. I'm so glad I got a hold of you because when I got off the show on Friday, I started off about 2 months ago, 90 to 10% that Lane Kiffin wasn't going anywhere. After the Ryan McGee 60 for 60, which was fantastic. I love those guys. And seeing, everything they brought up, his drinking issue, blah, blah, the whole thing, you saw it. I was like, there's no way. Yeah, his family's, I was like, I can't see it happening. Now, I've gone from that in the last 2 months until I think there's only about a 25% chance that he is going to stay. What I'm still not sure, and maybe you have more information on this. We know the offer that's out there, courtesy of Governor Landry, who's now the president AD as well as being the governor of LSU. So he's come out with this unbelievable offer, an additional $24 million for nil money and all that stuff. And you keep hearing that the Gators and Mississippi are going to match anything that LSU does. First of all, do you believe any of that? And do you believe that Lane Kiffin is gone and will not be coaching in the college football playoff? And I contend if the shit hits the fan over the next 48 hours, I don't know if he's going to coach in the Egg Bowl.
Can you believe the $98 million offer?
No, I don't. But my God. But do you believe that Florida or Mississippi will match that?
Mississippi, listen, they have two different kinds of donors at Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
They have doctors and lawyers. They don't have businessmen over there as the big money donors. They have people that want to donate with their heart, and they want to see Ole Miss be great. And I think that's the big deal here is you're going to see Ole Miss try to take a step forward. They're going to match what LSU has to offer. And because they want to contend for championships, they don't want to just contend for the playoffs. Lane Kiffin has elevated this Rebels program. And if he has to go somewhere else, such as LSU or Florida, I'm sorry, I got my 4-year-old in the
Oh, that's
background
fine.
yelling
No,
at me.
that's okay. He's mad about Kiffin too.
She loves Kiffin.
Oh, sorry.
But honestly, if Ole Miss wants to be serious, they're going to have to match what Lane Kiffin needs and deserves. And I think if you make it to the playoffs, you win the Egg Bowl, you're in firm position to continue on. Because listen, LSU and Florida, they don't have as much to offer football wise right now at this very moment what Ole Miss can give them.
Now, what do you mean by that? As far as explain that comment.
So, Ole Miss fans, they have what they want right now. As far as money goes, they can offer whatever he wants and the resources he needs to be successful. And I may be totally off base. I don't know really what the background is at LSU. I know that they are flooded with money. You've got Florida with 17 straight consecutive sellouts at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. I mean, I know you can. Sorry, guys.
What's your name?
But you can see.
Hi, Darwin.
What you can see what other schools have to offer Lane Kiffin, but it just to me feels like right now Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss unless something apocalyptic happens.
And do you think it comes into play that, and people say this all the time, well, it's a lot easier to win Mississippi than at Florida or at LSU, especially going to LSU when you have Governor Landry there, calling all the shots, it seems. But did you buy into that it would be easier for him to stay at Mississippi just because the pressure isn't as great as it would be in Gainesville or in Baton Rouge?
Oh, absolutely. Because if he gets that $98 million offer, accepts it at LSU or accepts it at Florida, the expectations are going to skyrocket. You're going to have to strap a rocket ship onto what LSU and Florida are right now, and you're going to see something totally different moving forward for Lane Kiffin. Because at Ole Miss, he can win and win about 9 or 10 games a year, maybe get to the playoffs, and they're going to build a statue for him. That Florida and LSU, two teams that have won national championships in the last 20 years, absolutely, they're going to have expectations like none other that Ole Miss won't.
I'm confused. I'm confused by your positiveness about Ole Miss because, Captain Blowhard, Stephen A. Smith, the brothers don't want to go to Oxford, which I went off on him like you cannot believe.
Oh, absolutely. I understand.
I'm tired of that ridiculous mentality, especially from somebody like him that knows absolutely nothing about college football. The only thing he says college football related is Alabama. That's all he can say is Alabama, Alabama. That guy hasn't watched a college football game in his life. And he's barely tolerable talking about the NFL. But it's that. How did that comment go? How was that taken by all of you down there? I'm sure
Well,
infuriated, like I was.
it ticked me off
Mhm.
because ESPN does a lot of stuff that are just silly. They
Totally agree.
listen. They have. I'm gonna try to say it nicely here.
Yeah, you can say
They
whatever you
they
want.
don't
I
know
know your dog is
culturally
there.
what is out there.
Yeah.
In Mississippi, I mean, everybody, the South has this stigma
Yep.
for 200 years,
Yeah, it's
and that's just not right. That's
Mhm.
not the truth.
Agree.
Things are much more acceptable. They're much more tolerable down here now, and he has no idea what he's talking about.
And that goes for a lot of subjects, by the way, for him. That goes for a lot. He's constantly. It seems like he and Ryan Clark are constantly apologizing or trying to get out of each other's way. It's embarrassing. And I don't watch these shows. I really can't. I can't take it. I watch Finey occasionally. No, he's on my because I'm a huge Hurricane fan from way back in the '70s, Jacob, when they were going to lose the program. So coming from New England originally and been down in Florida now in Fort Myers for 9 years. I love it because we didn't get to talk a lot of college football up in New England. It's basically very parochial, like Philadelphia. It's all professional sports. But I have been a college football fan for my entire life. I love it, and I totally agree. So, and I know Feinbaum called him out. I wish McAfee had went after him more than he did because he's the only one over there with any balls. Oops, sorry.
And hasn't McAfee had been a breath of fresh air?
Yes, absolutely. Because he won't admit. I mean, he will admit if he doesn't know something, he says it. Stephen A. thinks he knows something about everything. He's a cartoon character, and you know what he is? He's boring. Stephen A.'s boring and predictable.
I miss the days of Mike and Mike in the morning. That I mean, when I was a kid,
Yeah.
teenager, I'd wake up with them.
Mhm.
You'd have get home from school, have pardon the interruption, around the horn.
Mhm. Yeah. But
Incredible
those
shows.
were good shows. The only shows I watch on ESPN religiously, NFL matchup either on Saturday or Sunday, because that's not an
Right.
ESPN produced show. And Sal Pell and Greg Cosell and company do a great job. And Tuesday through Friday, I do watch college football live on ESPN. I think they do a pretty good job with that. Tuesday through Friday, they cover just about everything. But getting back, so Mississippi people, and obviously, right there, you're infuriated by Stephen A. What is the overall take? If Lane Kiffin leaves from the fans down there, are they going to have a rebellion? Is literally a rebellion? I mean, if he leaves those kids high and dry. I was just talking to Jay Flanley. I remember when Michigan, same thing happened when their coach left and Steve Fisher took over. They went on won the national championship in basketball. But and I suppose it could happen where the OC or somebody takes over and they could still. But the fans must be absolutely going out of their minds right now because they just don't know what's going to happen after the Egg Bowl.
I think 80% of the fan base is ready for there to be a resolution to this mess. And Lane Kiffin has a history of this. I think he loves trolling.
Yeah,
You
it
think
seems
about
that
it.
way. He fakes it that he doesn't, but
Oh,
he does.
yeah. And the whole thing with Tennessee. Now, the only thing that he could not say that would infuriate Ole Miss fans is saying you'd have to roll me out of here in an old pine box, like old Tommy Tuberville
Yeah,
said
my God.
when he left Ole Miss to go to Auburn. That's about the last thing he could say that would make Ole Miss fans absolutely furious and hate him like Tennessee fans do.
Well,
So I think that's really the only thing. I think they understand where their place is as far as old college football history goes. But I feel like honestly, they'd understand it. I think they know Lane Kiffin left this place in a better spot than he got it.
no, there's no question about it. But I gotta, and I gotta wonder how this ridiculous, idiotic college football playoff committee, headed by the latest hack, Hunter Yurachek, if it's going to affect Ole Miss. I saw, Heather Denich and Finey were talking about it on Friday or Saturday. Could it affect them in the rankings? They're not going to. If the bleep hits the fan and he leaves and all that stuff, they're not going to get dropped like Florida State got dropped because of the starting quarterback, right? If they fall, it might be maybe a spot or two if Lane Kiffin isn't there. But you still got to feel for those kids. You got to wonder what the hell they're thinking in that locker room, even up this week before they play Mississippi State.
I want to know how they keep it all together. Now, back in '06, Arkansas had a good run. I know we're talking Ole Miss
Yeah,
here,
that's
but there
okay.
was a
Yeah.
lot
Mm-hmm.
of some some kind of like culture issues within
Yeah.
the Arkansas locker room back in '06. I mean, you had a lot of stuff going on. There was a lot of moving pieces. At Ole Miss, it's just weird, man, because you're wondering like, is he going to be here for the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta think that if you lose him, you're just like, man, I lose my spot for a championship. And Ole Miss wasn't even thought to be a national championship contender this year. Like they are a surprise
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have your starting quarterback. You had your number one defense that you probably could have never seen again. That was your championship opportunity. So these guys are underdogs. And Coach Lane Kiffin is a testament to what he's done and his coaching acumen to be able to motivate this team, a lesser talented roster than last year. But he's at a championship opportunity. And I feel for these kids and I hate it for them because you're wondering in your back of your mind, man, I've got a good relationship with Kiffin, but is he going to stay or is he going to go? I can't understand. I can't fathom what's going on through their heads because I would be mad for life if a championship opportunity was taken from me because I don't have our full coaching staff in place.
What do you think? Of course, the atmosphere. This is kind of idiotic question, but I know the atmosphere is going to be. She's so sweet. What's her name?
Sorry, guys.
No, don't worry about it, please. That's family first, always. She's so cute. In Starksville, I'm trying to picture the signs for that game. I'm trying to. I think they're going to be all over Lane Kiffin in this game. They would be normally anyway, but this extra added stuff. I want to know how Mississippi is going to come out. What's inside, what's in here when they come out to Starksville. And you got to wonder, especially if more information comes out before Friday, which even though it's Thanksgiving week, I got to believe something is going to leak where before that game or during the game, people are going to find out that he's gone on Saturday one way or the other. And just the mentality of the Rebels coming out in the first like 10 minutes of that game, I'm fascinated to see how they're going to play.
Yeah, if they don't come out with a great first 15, 20 plays, not focused, you're already going to see what's going to happen. Because Mississippi State, man, they've been close so many times this year, whether it was that
Yeah.
loss to Tennessee, loss to
Mhm.
Texas.
Mhm.
They've been so close to breaking through this year. And Levy's probably got these guys' attention. It's his brother-in-law, after all. Lane Kiffin is.
Yes.
So you got that family rivalry, family friendly in there. So you got to wonder what the mentality is because if Mississippi State shows up, they have a good enough defense to make a couple of moves, force some 3-and-outs, maybe get ahead offensively, 14-0. And if Mississippi State gets up that quick, it's going to be hard for guys that may have a fragile mentality inside the Oklahoma locker room on that sideline. They're going to face some adversity, especially with Lane Kiffin being having so many distractions. uh, it would be interesting what would happen.
And you brought up a great word early, just a second ago, family. And this is where, again, I go back to the Ryan McGee, family. And
Mhm.
it certainly seemed family wise. I know his ex. No, he's not married now, right? Lane's not married, right?
No,
No, he's not married. But certainly his ex-wife seems to have a lot of influence. Goes to visit Gainesville, goes to visit LSU. My understanding is the kid in high school is not a football player, I don't think.
he's a quarterback.
Oh, he's a quarterback.
Mhm.
So does he have aspirations? Obviously, so he has aspirations of playing for his dad somewhere down the line. And how much influence would Shyla, is it that his ex-wife would have as
Later,
far as
yeah.
keeping the family in Oxford?
So that's what's really questionable here is if it does happen because Knox, his son's already said that he doesn't want to play for his dad, whether it's at Florida, Ole Miss, or LSU. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, they spent so much time out in California. Uh, without moving it with him. And you saw it in the 30 for 30 with Ryan McGee that it took Ole Miss and it took Oxford to rebuild his family. Uh, so so who knows exactly what's going on? You never know. I mean, it could be that Knox is about as good of a troller as his dad.
Is he good by nepotism, or is he that? Could he play D1? Could he play D1 ball in your opinion?
I think he can play FBS level ball.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty good touchdown to interception ratio. I've never actually got to watch him play, but from statistically, from the outside looking in, he's solid. He's a good prospect. Now, is he SEC material? I have no idea. I'd have to we'll have to see how he develops over time, but he's got a pretty good dad that's considered a quarterback whisperer. We can see. We'll see how it goes.
Really interesting stuff. Jacob, just the last thing. Are you surprised Florida State's hanging on to Norvell? No, I heard my good friend Mia O'Brien, who used to work at 1010 XL up there. Now she does ESPN radio nationally. She was close to the situation. We had a conversation about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago about Mike Norvell. And it's always about money at Florida, blah, blah, blah. But she said she thought he would be canned. And if they did, not the definite, but if he did get canned, they would pay him off in increments. They're keeping him at least for, I don't know how much longer he's going to last next year, but they're keeping him. You surprised by that?
Boy, am I surprised. Now, what's his buyout there?
It's not Jimbo Fisher-esque. It's not that, but it's pretty. I think I want to say 40-something million, something like that. It might be 45.
After he went 2-10 last year, I was surprised they just didn't pull the plug already.
Agreed.
You're at Florida State. This Seminole program is incredibly great, has great tradition, a restructured stadium. Like, you have everything to offer and recruiting at your disposal. And after having such a bad season with such a great talent pool on that Florida State team last year, and then you come out and in the season opener with Gus Malzahn, and offense hasn't been the problem, it's defense.
Yeah.
But man, it's been a disappointing issue because you have on paper a good quality coaching staff for the ACC, and then you have a great roster to have success, and that's just not happening. I don't know what's going on in that locker room, but man, it's just they've been a huge disappointment this season considering where they started.
Absolutely. And the last thing with the college football playoff committee, and you just need more coaches in there, in my opinion. The hypocrisy, the Notre Dame BS, I can't stand it. But they have to do something with the timeline here. It's got to get synced up. You got to have, between the signing period and the nil money and coaches being able, there's like 4 or 5 things. This is totally out of whack that all of this nonsense can happen before the national championship game. It's not right. It's not. And I don't want to hear about academics. I don't care about academics. I don't care. You can always get the academics or a test, and people are like, oh, well, it's them during exams. I don't care about that nonsense, and neither does anybody else around the country, because you can always get the academics at some point. They gotta get their ducks all in a row here. It looks horrible. Are these situations like are going on with Lane Kiffin going to continue to happen unless Charlie Baker and the idiots that run the NCAA, form a plan that makes sense? This is terrible. This whole thing is out of whack, and we knew it was going to be out of whack when they said that the dates earlier this year.
Mm-hmm. And college football is the only sport in the country that has free agency while the season's going on.
Crazy.
And it's frustrating because now they've gone to that one transfer portal deal in January, but it's still while the championship is still going, the playoffs are still being played. It does not make any sense. And you're thinking, well, if you don't let them have the transfer portal now, in the middle of January, it's going to impact them being able to play in spring practice, yada yada. Look, man, you're just gonna have to deal with something. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Maybe give the kids a waiver. I don't know.
Yeah,
especially starting classes late. Maybe giving an exemption. Maybe I don't know. It's such a frustrating deal.
And if Lane does leave for LSU or Florida, you got to figure some of those kids aren't going to play in the college football playoff. They're going to tell him don't play. He's going to follow him to wherever he goes. There goes a whole bunch of kids that are absolutely going to follow him to one school or the other, right?
Absolutely, and they're it's just unfair for the kids that decide to stay with loyalty. This is a team sport, and the calendar is completely off, and it pisses me off with how college football's become because it's no longer. Man, I wish sometimes that the BCS was still out there. You've got the computers deciding which teams should just play in the national championship. I mean, it's so much corruption. There's so much money running through this thing right now uh, that maybe it's too far fetched to go back to the old rules.
Or if you go back to BCS, make it, BCS doesn't have to be just top 4. It can be top 12. Or when it goes to 16, and it inevitably will. I don't know if the Big Ten people want to go to 24. I don't know if that'll ever happen. But 16 seems fair to me in some way, shape, or form. But maybe they can do the old BCS because these committee members are a joke. And you got to just factor in the hypocrisy. And like I said, I could sit here and do 4 hours and hate on Notre Dame and their fans forever. I don't blame the kids. I don't blame the coach. I blame the media, and I blame the hypocrisy that exists because they're over here and all us other peons are down here. I can't stand it. Jacob, what can I plug for you? You're all over the place. What do you need? What can you plug?
Well, I've got hottieToddy.com. You can find my written work. I do a lot of recruiting coverage there. You can also find me at hogsonsi.com. You can find my Razorback stuff. I do the same stuff there. Big coaching carousel guy. So that's what I watch.
Finally, last now, who do you want to see as your head coach at Arkansas next year?
Boy,
that's a loaded.
out of the guys that are available that Pete Thamel shared Saturday night. I would take Eric Morris with the air raid. Mike Leach came in and showed that the air raid would work in the SEC. And man, Eric Morris has come in, worked with Cam Ward when he was at Incarnate Word. He's come out and worked with a redshirt freshman quarterback that hadn't started the game since middle school. Like, that's just crazy to me. And he's just putting insane numbers up. So if Eric Morris that would be my guy out of the names listed so far.
Jacob, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and your beautiful daughter. Great stuff. I hope maybe we could chat next week after some of the Egg Bowl is settled and all that stuff. If you're available, I want to wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving. And if you're available next week, I'd love to talk to you again because this has been a great pleasure.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on, and just give me a holler.
Will do. Thanks, Jake. I appreciate you. I'll retweet some of your stuff.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, take care. There he is, all the way in Arkansas, but covers Mississippi State. That game's in Starkville, by the way, so got to have more cowbell, Angel Martinez.
Sure do.
You should see how those girls dress for this game. Oh, they wear like the old-fashioned, like Southern Belle type dresses in the end zone, everything else. They have the whole. It's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool. But Jacob, good stuff, huh? Good stuff for our.
Yeah, it was good. There's nothing better than your child naturally just like photobombing the moment, just like Daddy. But it's funny because you could hear an echo in the distance, and then she finally came across. But listen, the kids are going to do that. It's what kids do. But he didn't need to apologize. That was fun. That was a good segment.
All right, Angel, what's going on the network today? Because you got to go rest and.
Yeah, I can get some fluids, some Dayquil, some good stuff to get myself a little bit better here. Later on tonight will be Lloyd Vance's Insider Football. That'll be at 8 p.m. this evening, so you guys can check that out. Don't forget also, we are not here Thursday or Friday of this week, so it'll be a short, condensed week for us as we enjoy Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, whatever, Fansgiving, however people call it nowadays. But so if you guys are looking for us Thursday and Friday, you won't see us, but you can always watch the replays over on the site, and there's some stuff that'll be changing over on the radio side over the weekend so that some of the stuff is fresh and new.
All right. Awesome stuff. Thanks, Angel. Go get rested. Thanks to my guests today, Jay Flannelly from Beeves World and Jacob Davis from SI, and covers a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to tweet his stuff on my social media. Have a great and safe rest of your Monday, everybody. We're back tomorrow morning at 7 in the a.m. right here at the Coastal Sports Digital Network. See ya.